Welcome to another episode of I Don't Normally Watch That. Here on JLG Media, I'm James Lott Jr., your host. And so this is the first show I'm doing for this series that I watched that I actually, so I'll tell you in a second what I did. I drinking my tea. But this show surprised me. So it's something I wouldn't normally tune into, didn't know existed. And I ended up watching it going, oh, okay, interesting. It's called Being Rueben. It's on the CW. It's on Friday nights, and it's like 30 minutes. I caught season one. It's the first season right now, but I caught episode 4. And this episode was very interesting because it reminded me of, it's a new series. I guess let's give a background first. It's a reality show. Reuben is his name. He's 14 years old. They're from England. He wants to be famous. And he identifies as a boy who wears makeup. That's in quotes. He does YouTube tutorials. He has, on the series, you see his Sonny, Coco, his mom, Vicky, and Bampa. We meet his dad, Matthew, too, on this episode. I have all these notes. So let me give a little background on it, because I had to look him up, because I was like, I never heard him before in my life. I don't follow these YouTube people like that. He has 284,000 followers on IG, on Instagram. He has over 200,000 followers on YouTube. Did I tell you he's 14? I was like, wow. So let's have our show. I caught it. I feel like I'll watch it. I used to watch reality TV. I don't really watch it anymore. But I used to watch some of it. I used to like some of it back in the day. I don't really watch it anymore. But this one is, well, it's him going to New York, my favorite city in the world, for a business trip. I mean, 14 years old and has a business trip. It's just not fair. He's going for a business trip, and he has an eyelash collection of eyelashes. He's going with his dad, Matthew. Now, Matthew comes across as a straight-laced kind of, dad. And it's his first time seeing what his son Reuben does. Now, I saw the pictures, and they showed the pictures. Some look really good. He did some photo shoot. It looked really good. The ones with him and his dad were so good. And the thing about this it's funny. I loved the relationship with him and his dad. That was like my selling point. I was like, wow. Just, showing that he supports his son, looking out for his son. It's a little different for him, obviously, but he just was just really kind and considerate, and was having fun with him. This show showed just him on a business trip. It literally was no major drama. It reminded me of how reality TV used to be when it first started. When I used to watch reality TV, when I used to watch The Housewives or any of those shows, it was showing them how they live, which I kind of liked, the behind the scenes, how they worked, how they made money. I loved all of that. I loved how that worked. And they just kind of stopped doing that. It's like, I don't know. They got to now they're very, I don't say scripted. They're just very produced now. And so I like the fact that these shows are like, no, it's showing us actually the life of someone who is trying to make it in the world, either become famous or make a business. I love that. To me, there's enough interest. It's interesting to me to see how they do this, because for me, it was like seeing, I wrote this down. It was like, it was not sensational. It was just showing someone with a purpose. It's a world that I'm a novice to. I don't really know much about the fashion industry or that kind of stuff. It's just fun seeing behind the scenes how they come up with campaigns, how they go over and picking a certain product that's going to be out in the market. See, to me, that stuff's kind of exciting. And I know a lot of folks out there too. I don't know if the show's success or anything. I have no idea if it's a hit or anything. But I just know that I said I actually would like to see more of this and see where he goes. Now, I don't watch it regularly, but I did watch an episode 3 or 4 weeks later. I did tune back in again. It was very interesting. But it's just like, it just reminded me of just showing us a glimpse on how people do things. I have a series called The Really Quick James Lott Jr. Show. And most of the time it's me out and about the day of my life. A lot of vlogs are popular because of that. You show people who are doing things. You see the end products of stuff, but showing them behind the scenes on the studio or in the studio or when they're shopping, trying to find things. It's like, that stuff's kind of fun to me. I don't know about you, but I love that kind of stuff. So Being Rueben, CW, I was in. Now I'm gonna give a shout out to the narrator, Claire Skinner. She was good. My notes. I would take notes. But I was like, yeah, okay. That's really interesting. So Being Rueben, and I watched it again. I wouldn't normally watch it, but I watched another episode a few weeks later, and that was that. So maybe one day I'll go back and binge watch a whole season, because I didn't see it from the beginning. I just saw episode 4, and I think it was like episode 7. It's one of those two, but very interesting. Follow us. Social media platforms: JLJ Media, all streaming services. YouTube, JLJ Media. Social medias, JLJ Media, or me at James Lott Jr. James Lott Jr. 1 on Twitter, James Lott Jr. across the board everywhere else. You can see what's going on. I have a bunch of shows. This is one of them. But Being Rueben. So I don't know. I'll be back with another show that I wouldn't normally watch coming up soon. And everyone, please take care. We'll see you next time.